Great. So let's start. So welcome to Masai School and welcome to Skillathon session. The idea behind starting Skillathon at Masai School is to bring a holistic development to our students, not just focusing on their technical skill, but also on your communication skills and soft skills. Right. So what we decided is we'll invest a good amount of time to build your capability. In a regular batches, it is close to 100 hours. That is 1 hour every day. And in part-time batches, we are attempting at least 50 hours. Having said that, the entire skill-a-thon, which we cover the communication skills and soft skills, it's a developmental journey because this set of skill is a life skill and which you will have an impact both in your professional life and in your personal life, and there is no limit to which you can improve this. So that's very important that you build the skills in a holistic way. So what we did, we put this entire skillathon initiative in this developmental journey into three areas. We call them the skill set and the tool set and the mindset. We were covering communication skills, problem solving skills, collaboration, teamwork and interpretation, presentation, a set of tools which will improve your efficiency and effectiveness, and high focus is on marathon mindset and other areas to make you a competent developer. So how do you take care? Take care about all these three and you will change your life and career. Is there a formula? A kind of a formula where it is skill set plus tool set multiplied by mindset. So take care of your mindset because many people struggle in spite of having the skill set and tool set is that mind that gives the direction. Mind is the one can have that, the major switch gear to switch on and switch off. So take care of build your mindset and growth mindset, positive mindset will help you both in good days and bad days. So let's start. I'm going to cover a very interesting topic today called achievement orientation. Right? There are individuals who have the requisite knowledge, requisite skills, requisite pedigree, requisite the environment in which they have come up. They have a platform, but they don't deliver because they lack achievement orientation. It is a secret sauce of individual to actually go out and deliver what he's supposed to do. That is why you see that people with average skill set, but they have a great drive towards achievement, perform much better than people with great level of skill sets and knowledge that they come with, but they don't have this drive. It will unlikely to go forward. So I want to start with a very powerful story. I want a volunteer from this a small group of students who are with us. Can I have a volunteer, please? I just want you to read the story as it is. Quickly, please. Who would volunteer? You just got to read what is coming up on the screen. Yes, please. Yes, who's going to do that? Okay, I think we'll ask Abhishek to do this. Abhishek, can you volunteer?
Yes.
Yeah, a little louder so that it comes out very nicely. Go ahead, Abhishek.
Okay, okay. Yeah, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. I had been working much too long on this job. I guess things could have been worse. I certainly wasn't doing hard labor. But going door to door, asking questions as a representative of the federal government wasn't the most satisfying position either. It was August, it was hot. I had to wear a tie.
Okay, this guy is talking about achievement orientation. He's going from door to door doing some survey for the federal government. Look at the response he got from the people. Continue, Abhishek.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Bob Parks, and we are doing a survey in this neighborhood. Neighborhood. I'm not interested. Goodbye. You can't imagine how many times I heard that. I finally caught on and began with before you slam the door. I'm not selling anything, and I just need to ask a few questions about yourself and the community. The young woman inside the doorway paused for a moment, raised her eyebrows as she shrugged her shoulders, confused by my rude introduction.
He changed his way of introducing because he was not getting response. People were shutting the door. So he changed it and see what happens. Go ahead, please.
Sure, come on in. Don't mind the mess. It's tough keeping up with my kids. It was an older home in a secret of the valley, where people with meager income found affordable shelter. With the little they had, the home looked comfortable and welcoming. I just need to ask a few questions about yourself and family. Although this may sound personal, I won't need to use your names. This
Remember, he's
information
doing a
will be
survey.
used. She interrupted me. Would you like a glass of cold water? You look like you had a rough day. Why, yes, I said eagerly. Just as she returned with the water, a man came walking in the front door. It was her husband. Joy, this man is here to do a survey. I stood and politely introduced myself.
Yeah, Joe is his husband. Okay, and look at
This,
his where
yeah.
he's working and what is the story behind Joe.
Joy was tall and lean. His face was rough and aged, looking although I figured he was in his early 20s. His hands were like leather, the kind of hands you get from working hard, not pushing pencils. She leaned toward him and kissed him gently on the cheek. As they looked at each other, you could see the love that held them together. She smiled and tilted her head, laying it on his shoulder. He touched her face with his hands and softly said, I love you. They may not have had material wealth, but these two were richer than most people I know. They had a powerful love, the kind of love that keeps your head up when things are looking down. Joy works for the borough, she said.
Okay, what is a borough? Borough is like municipality,
Company,
Mumbai
maybe?
municipality, Bengaluru
Okay.
municipality, Chennai municipality, people who upkeep the city. And he was working in the borough and he was actually, you will see what he was doing.
What do you do? I asked. She jumped right in, not letting him answer. Joy collects garbage. You know, I'm so proud of him. Honey, I'm sure the man doesn't want to hear this, said Joy. No, really, I do, I said. You see, Bob, Joy is the best garbage man in the borough. He can stack more garbage on the truck than anyone else. He gets so much in one truck that they don't have to make as many runs, she said with such passion. In the long run, Joy continues, I save the borrow money, man hours are down, and cost per truck is less. There was silence. I don't know what to say. I shook my head, searching for the right words. That's incredible. Most people would creep about a job like that. It certainly is a difficult one, but your attitude about it is amazing, I said. She walked over to the shelf next to the couch. As she turned, she held in her hand a small framed paper. When we had our third child, Joy lost his job. We were on unemployment for a time and then eventually welfare. He couldn't find work anywhere. Then one day he was sent on an interview here in this community. They offered him the job he now holds. He came home depressed and ashamed, telling me this was the best he could do. It actually paid less than we got on welfare.
Welfare in America is if you're unemployed, the government pays you some living allowance. So he took up a job which was paying less than the welfare.
She paused for a moment and walked towards Joy. I have always been proud of him and always will be. You see, I don't think the job makes the man. I believe the man makes the job.
Abhishek, once again, the last sentence.
Yeah, of course. I have always been proud of him and always will be. You see, I don't think the job makes the man. I believe the man makes the job.
Brilliant. You see, I don't think the job makes the man. I believe the man makes the job. Continue, please.
We needed to live in the borough in order to work here, so we rented this home, Joy said. When we moved in, this coat was hanging on the wall just inside the front door. It has made all the difference to us. Bob, I know that Joy was doing the right thing, she said as she handed me the frame.
Please
It
read this with a
said,
bit of an emotion, Abhishek.
okay. It said if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep the streets even as Michelangelo painted or Beethoven composed music or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, Here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well, Martin. Martin Luther King.
Isn't it? He should sweep so well that the hosts in the heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper
Great
who did
street
his
sweeper
job
who did
well.
the work
So, friends, I love him for who he
for
is,
who he is.
but what he does the best. I love the garbage man. So, I want to ask all of you when you go to bed, ask this question: how was your day? Did you give your best? Right? You see, I don't think the job makes the man. I believe the man makes the job. Thank you, Abhishek. It was a long story that you have read out. Thank you so much. Can you quickly use your chat box and give your top of the mind response after hearing Abhishek? What is the story tells you? Top of the mind response. Yep. कोई धंधा छोटा नहीं होता. Beautiful attitude towards the job. We should give our best. That's what Prince is saying. No job is small or big. Honest and humble man believes in his work. Thank you so much. So whatever you do, friends, you must give your best. I think that is where it starts, the entire achievement orientation. Many of us think us that once we reach there, we start delivering it. It is unlikely to happen. Any job that you do, you must give your best to whatever that ability is. And if you feel that you have not given best, build capability to deliver it. And that is how you can really build your career and life. So what is this achievement orientation, right? So some words are put together to get a meaningful out of it. What is this achievement orientation is all about? Achievement orientation is how an individual, you and me, interpret and reacts or responds to a task and goal. Right? When we are at work, more specifically, we have a goal to achieve, and for that goal, we have to perform some task. Now, how I interpret that task and goal, and how do I react or respond to that task and goal, resulting in different patterns of perception, emotion, and behavior, right? I'm sure when I'm at work, let's say Rupul's asked me to do this. Now, how do I interpret? How do I react? How do I respond to that set of tasks to achieve that goal will always result in patterns of perception and emotion and behavior. If your perception is positive, your emotions are positive, your behavior is in the right direction. If my perception is negative, my emotions could be angry, frustrated, bored, and my behavior could be anything, right from resentment to aggressiveness to abstinence. Anything can happen. So, what is achievement orientation? A concern for working well and surpassing a standard of excellence. That here the concern is looked in a positive way. I'm concerned that I must work well, right? It's a positive emotion, and I want to surpass the standards of excellence. If you ask me, I must be concerned to add value to the Vikings in this session. Can I do better than last weekend? Now, it is a surpassing a standard of excellence. That is achievement orientation. You can't expect one finally something happening unless you do periodically that. Some of the good books to read if you want to understand. One is The Excellence Dividend by Tom Peters, Good to Great, Built to Last by, by Jim Collins. These are some books that they talk about how organizations and leaders go after this concept of achievement orientation and how they can build organization and society that can be done this way. Okay. Now, I want you to do this exercise maybe a little later. I want you to come across, have you come across friends, colleagues, bosses, family members who have demonstrated a deep desire to achieve irrespective of hurdles? Friends, India is a place where we face hurdles at every stage, right? One is a very, very complex society. Two things we need to fight it out. Government gives very limited. The society is so competitive, right? The sheer number of people is so high. So have you come across friends, colleagues, relatives, bosses who have demonstrated the will to achieve, a burning desire to achieve irrespective of hurdles and failures? I want you to think through, and we will probably discuss about it. And I want you to discuss, in spite of that, they have come out being successful, right? Both in professional and personal and achievement orientation. Here I want to give an example. An uncle of mine, who unfortunately who just passed away 3 weeks ago. He had demonstrated this achievement orientation. He was 83 years old, comes from a small city, Mysore. Today you may say Mysore is big, but I'm talking about he left that city when he was around 20 years old, and he came to Chennai. And with a lot of difficulty, he stayed in one small temple premise and did his education. And not only he did his education, he got some small job. He helped supported his brothers to come from Mysore, and he took care of them. And eventually he joined a company called Scientific Tools, and he worked there for 45 years. In fact, the founder of the Scientific Tools also passed away. He continued to work, and you would be surprised that 20 days before that he was admitted to the hospital, he continued to work for that company. Not only he took care of his family and his brothers and his family, but he supported so many people among the society. He made sure that people come up. If he spots somebody has the potential and he has a desire to do well, personally he is to coach and mentor. What was amazing about this uncle of mine is he's 83. And when I told that I'm quitting my corporate job and joining Masai school to start this, he was so keen to know what is this business model is all about. How does people pay money? How can a institute can run? What is a startup? What is a VC? And he used to follow up. How many students are there? How has been the placement? Can you imagine a person at 83 years? Because he enjoyed whatever he does, and he truly believed, and he had a concern how he can surpass a workaholic, a true hero for me. I'm sure in your own memories, or you would have a person, it could be a friend, a colleague, or a relative, or a boss who demonstrated a will to achieve, a burning desire. And the best thing about this uncle of mine is not just desire for himself, but a desire for people around him. In fact, even in the last couple of years, he made sure that he fought against the Chennai municipality and made sure the water is released to his area, and he became a local hero in that street. And the way he followed up with the municipality, and he was really true hero. He was uncorruptible. He didn't pay a single penny to the municipality people. He just went on following up, just went on writing, and he was able to do that, right? So achievement orientation is fundamental in life, friends. Many of us forget this. This is an important fuel to drive, right? I may have a very good engine, very good gearbox. I may have the state of the art safety system. But if I don't have that fuel, or if I have very limited fuel, it can go only to that direction. So this is an important tool. All of us needs to help that. Few quotes. Bill Gates said it beautifully. If you're born poor, it is not your mistake. But if you end your life as poor, definitely is your mistake. Today, there is enough plethora of opportunity to make sure that you grow up in your life. And money is a very important element, right? It is not the only element, but it's an important element. When the basic money is taken care of, the rest of it can be concentrated to give back to the society. And Ambani said it beautifully. Our dreams have to be bigger, our ambitions has to be higher, our commitment to make it happen should be deeper, and our efforts has to be greater, right? Truly, he has built an outstanding organization. Today, of course, his sons are reaping the benefit of it, and they built upon it. And let's look at 5 levels of achievement orientation. It's not that some people don't have it. It's the question is, what is your level of achievement orientation? Level one is managing familiar task. I only do the task that I am familiar. I have learned it. I would like to do this. You would see this in a lots and lot of people who get stuck in the bottom of the pyramid. They don't want to learn something new. They always blame external situation. And in today's context, there is nothing called familiar task. Every day there is a new task. The things are changing, technology is changing, markets are changing, companies are changing. If you say that I'm going to do only familiar task, you will be wiped away. Sorry, I'm making a strong statement. One level above is achieving goals. Here I go after achieving the goal. It could be customer service goal, it could be a sales goal, it could be a product delivery goal, it could be any goal that has been given to you. I not only do the task, but I do the task to deliver the goal. There are a lot of people I have seen in sales. They do task, but they don't achieve goal. They think being busy is productive, not necessarily. A clear goal needs to be achieved, right? And when individuals achieve goal, the departments achieve goal, the organization achieves goal. So achieving goal is very important. And when you all join organization, I'm sure some of you are already working, you're being given a KRA, key result area, key performance indicators, which you're supposed to deliver, right? So achieving goals is fundamental. The third level is taking responsibility for goals and approach. Once I've been given goal, I take the responsibility to achieve it. Both if I achieve or I don't achieve, I take the responsibility. And what are the actions that are required to make that goal happen? So here is a one level. Let's say I've been given a clear, let's take the program manager, Tasneem. I'm just taking her as an example. She takes a goal saying that 15th of March, admissions needs to happen. We are opening a new batch. 200 students should report, not any 200 student, but those set of students who are motivated to earn and learn. Now she has taken the responsibility. What are the approaches she can do? She can do a campaign, she can do an AMA session, she can make sure that funnel marketing is done. She makes sure that every query that has come in has been answered in the right way. Interviews are conducted in the most best way so that we get the best out of the student, right? That is taking responsibilities for goals and approach. Once that is done, I want to pursue high standards. How can I give even better tag to student? Currently, we have a TAT of 24 hours. That means any mail that comes within 24 hours, I need to do. Why can't it be 12 hours? How can I make sure that the induction is much stronger? How can I make that AMAs are more enjoyable? How can I make delivery of clarity in the mail? Pursuing high standards. And highest level is achieving challenging goals. Here Tasneem takes a goal which is not any goal which was achieved, but very challenging goal, and keeping raising the bar every session on session on session, every admission cycle. Now these are the five levels of achievement orientation. Now typically the attributes, the common traits of people who demonstrate achievement orientation are the following. First and foremost, they are very ambitious. There's nothing wrong in ambitious, right? Sometimes our society sends a wrong message. He is very ambitious person. What's wrong in being ambitious if the ambition is in the right direction, right? I'm ambitious that I want to grow up in the corporate ladder. Good. What is wrong, right? I'm determined. I'm determined to make it happen is the second trait you will see them. And they are very self-disciplined, whether it is the morning meetings or response to the mail or adherent to the task. They're highly self-disciplined. The third, fourth component is adaptability. See, things keeps changing, right? Even look at the Masai school process itself, the admission process. Continuously, we have kept changing so that we can take into account various elements, adaptability, and then we have flexibility, because they both go hand in hand, adaptability and flexibility, right? And then accountability. I am accountable to deliver result. I am accountable for student experience. I am accountable to make sure that things are delivered in the right way. And if you go one level deeper, why these people are adaptable and flexible? Because they learn continuously. Learnability is an important trait. Improvement orientation. How can I improve it? How can I improve it? And a solution driven. So what we are going to do is I'm going to take you detail on adaptability, flexibility a little later, and learnability. Also, I'll be doing some sessions. But today, let's look at achievement orientation. There are six things. How do I develop it? Determine how you are using your time effectively, right? So, because we all have limited resources called time. Time is the only thing God has distributed uniformly. All of us have the 24 hours. That's it. Not a minute more, not a minute less. How do we use it is very important to make it achievement. Focus on goals and don't give up. Be persistent. Time, take time to evaluate what is your criteria for success. Sometimes we have our own misnomers, misconception about criteria for success. Take feedback on whether your personal goals are challenging at attaining. Take feedback how you have done so far. That is where manager as a role is to give feedback. Feedback is not criticism. Feedback is the greatest tool for self improvement. People who are achievement orientation, they keep a track of diary. It could be digital or it could be analog, or every week, what are the things that I want to accomplish and what am I doing for that, and look to improve both the quality and direction of work. Many of us only focus on quantity, but we must also look at quality and direction of work. Six things to build achievement orientation. In fact, we can see achievement orientation as a value system, and I want to take an example of Japanese way. The Japanese, for Japan, rice and fish are integral part of their individual and society. They love both of them. There is a rice story which goes in Japan. Rice cultivation is very much deeply rooted, and it dates back to very long centuries. And they believed in these three concepts. You can call them as 3G. The first one is Giri. Giri is nothing but duty and gratitude. They say growing rice is a duty and a gratitude. A duty to make sure you support your family and neighbors if it is required, because it requires a long period of intense activity of sowing, reaping, etc., etc. So, like in the corporate, we must show it is our duty to achieve, it is our duty to put in efforts, it is our duty to and a gratitude to achieve goals. That is why we have been hired, right? The second is Ganbaru. The second G is Ganbaru. That means never give up. The Japanese core value system is you should never give up. Working hard is highly desirable trait in Japan. In fact, Japanese and South Korea, the way they rose in the last 50, 60 years, it is purely because of never give up attitude and hard work. In fact, Koreans are considered the most hardworking people. And I don't know whether you know people working in Samsung or other Korean companies, they value this work. My son's classmate, his father works for Samsung R&D, and they were posted for a year in Korea, Seoul. And he used to travel quite often, but the last 1 year, they stayed in Seoul before the COVID. And his mother, a friend of my wife, they used to discuss and say that in Korea, many people leave on Monday morning and they return only on Friday evening, even if the office is only 30, 40 kilometers away. They work, they work, they work, they sleep in the office itself. Of course, facilities are given in the office. So that never give up, hard work is the value system that there. Whereas the American says, take it easy. The word take it easy is not there in Japan, right? Students have to work hard, employees have to work hard. The last one is gaman. The third G is gaman. It is nothing but endurance. Endurance, studying in Masai school requires endurance. You know that marathon requires endurance. It's not 100 meters or a 400-meter sprint. It is a mile. It is that 26.2 miles that you run. So this is you can see it as a value system. So when you join an organization, make sure you believe in the duty to give it back, and it is a gratitude to show to them, never give up, and endurance is there. Of course, achievement orientation is a function of three things. First one being confidence. And confidence is a function of knowledge, skill, and behavior. The second is courage. Courage to take on challenging goals. Courage to say no when somebody is saying that this needs to be done and you're absolutely sure this is not the right thing to do. And self discipline. Confidence, courage, and self discipline. These are the achievement orientation function. Right? Now, let's look at a little more in detail. Confidence and courage is not the absence of fear, but treating fear as a friend and embracing the changes that happens around us and realizing that knowledge is success only when we dare to do what is necessary. Many people come to the corporate world with lot of knowledge, but you know that ultimately you need to perform the task. That means apply the knowledge along with your skill and work with people and demonstrated that behavior is what makes it happen. What should we do? Have a common goal. That means the organization needs to achieve this. I need to do this. Everyone counts in the organization. Think hard on the goal day in and day out. Believe this is possible. Dream every day and dare to take on higher goals. Be perseverant, demonstrate high level of energy, and treat it as a fun, not as a chore. Right? Openness and transparency and raise the voice. What do you mean by raise the voice? That courage. When it is required, you tell them, treat fear as a friend, take risk, see mistakes as teachers, share success and failures, pride in what you do, and personal responsibility. Right? In fact, somebody wrote it very beautifully. The word pride is personal responsibility in delivering excellence. Pride, personal responsibility in delivering excellence. Obviously, while I gave you a list of what needs to be embraced, we need to give up on few things. I need to give up on fear, inefficiency, bogged down by hurdles. Many of them have seen they get bogged down by hurdles. I have a colleague of mine in my previous organization, very well talented, but gets bogged down by hurdles. Egoism, need to be popular, uninvolved in some activity, unemotional, escapism, drifting, and taking the easy road. Achievement orientation is a function of three things. Now let's look at self discipline. I think I have covered this earlier, but it is worth revisiting it because this is the number one challenge most individuals we have, as a society that we have, as a country that we have. It's a bridge between goals and accomplishment. All of us have goal, but we don't accomplish because we don't take the bridge of discipline. So we fall halfway through or wherever it is. Let's start with this video from my guru, Brain Tracy. It's a nice video for 5 minutes. Let's watch this.
With it until it is complete. Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and today I want to talk to you about one of the single best qualities that you can develop for success. Actually, it's the best quality and the most important quality, and without it, nothing is possible. The great secret of success is that there are no secrets of success. There are only timeless principles that have been proven effective throughout the centuries. There's one special quality that you can develop that will guarantee your greater success, accomplishment, and happiness in life. Of 1,000 principles for success developed over the ages, this one quality or practice will do more to assure that you accomplish wonderful things with your life than anything else. The quality is so important that if you don't develop it to a high degree, it's impossible for you to ever achieve what you are truly capable of achieving. The quality that I'm talking about is the quality of self-discipline. It is a habit, a practice, a philosophy, and a way of living. All successful men and women are highly disciplined in the important work that they do. All unsuccessful men and women are undisciplined and unable to control their behaviors and their appetites. And when you develop the same levels of high personal discipline possessed by the most goal-oriented, successful people in our society, you will very soon begin to achieve the same results that they do. It's no miracle. All great success in life is preceded by long, sustained periods of focused effort on a single goal, the most important goal, with the determination to stay with it until it is complete. Throughout history, we find that every man or woman who achieved anything lasting and worthwhile had engaged in long, often unappreciated hours, weeks, months, and even years of concentrated, disciplined work in a particular direction. Fortunately, the quality of self-discipline is something that you can learn by continuous practice, over and over, until you master it. Once you've mastered the ability to delay gratification, the ability to discipline yourself to keep your attention focused on the most important task in front of you, there is virtually no goal that you cannot accomplish and no task that you cannot complete. I have studied successful men and women for more than 40 years, and in the simplest of terms, successful men and women are those who work almost all the time on high-value tasks. Unsuccessful men and women are those who waste their time by wasting the minutes and hours of each day on low-value activities. You see, there is a crowding out principle in time and personal management. It simply says that if you spend all of your time on highly productive tasks, by the end of the day, you will have crowded out all the unproductive activities that might have distracted you from your real work and from what's really important. On the other hand, if you spend your time on low-value activities, the reverse happens. Those low-value activities will crowd out the time that you need to complete the tasks that can make all the difference in your life. And the key to this attitude toward time and personal management is always self-discipline. There are several disciplines that you need to develop if you want to achieve your full potential. The first of these is the discipline of goals. This means that you sit down with a pad of paper, a pen, and ample time to think. You think through and then make a written list of all the things that you want to accomplish in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. You organize the list into the various areas of your life, your career, your money, your family, your health, and the other parts that are important to you. Interestingly enough, if you can be clear about your goals and write them down, there's nothing that can stop you from achieving them. But if you're not clear, that means that you haven't written them down, there's nothing that can help you. You set priorities among your goals and rewrite your lists so that your most important goals are at the top. You then take a separate sheet of paper and you make a list of all the things that you can think of doing right now to move you toward the attainment of your most important goals. Fully 97% of adult Americans are trying to live their lives without clear, specific, written goals. This is the same as setting off across an unknown country without a roadmap. You may get somewhere eventually, but it will take you much longer, and it's far more likely that you will get lost and waste an enormous amount of time than if you planned your trip carefully with a roadmap and full information about the future terrain before you started out. The second discipline you need to develop for success is the discipline of planning. Many people think that they are too busy to plan, or they don't give themselves enough time to plan. You will save 10 minutes in execution and getting the job done for every minute that you invest in planning. You will get a 1,000% return on your time investment by taking the time to think through in advance what you are going to do in the hours and days ahead. Now, I'd love to hear from you, so my question today is this: is self-discipline important to you? Leave a comment below and I'll be sure to follow up with you. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want to change your future, take action, and take action now. If you enjoyed this video and feel it was valuable in teaching you about the power of self-discipline, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video with your friends.
And this book, written by Brain Tracy, the Power of Self-Discipline, No Excuses, is an amazing book, and I think it's available for free download, and you can watch that.
Hello.
You can go through that book. It's amazing. So what is self-discipline, friends? It's doing what you have to do when you have to do, whether you like it or not. It's a very powerful way to look at it. So if you see, the word doing comes quite often. It is an action. Self-discipline is not just dreaming, it is doing. Many of us, we dream, especially when there is a new year coming through, we take resolution that I'm going to reduce the weight, I'm going to get my fitness back, I want to give up on smoking, etc., etc. But we don't do. Self-discipline is doing what you have to do when you have to do, whether you like it or not. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger you become. The less you train it, the weaker you become, right? So you must do it on a regular basis. Then you see that you start enjoying the process. Means also self-control, which is a sign of inner strength and control of yourself, your actions and reactions, right? The foundation of self-discipline is ability to control one's thoughts, actions, attitudes, and feeling. Just let's say that I have made a resolution that I'm going to walk or a jog or an exercise or a cycle in the morning every day between 6:30 to 7:30. Now, what happens when the alarm goes off at 6:15? What thoughts comes into your mind? Oh, I have slept very late, so I am okay. I can skip today. Oh, I have a lot of work to be done. I think I can't do it. I think I have a pain in the lower back. Let me sleep for some more time. It's okay to skip one day. If I do 4 days, is okay. What are your thoughts? What are the actions, attitudes, and feeling is very important. As they say, suffer the pain of discipline or the suffer the pain of regret. I keep telling students doing at Masai school, it is it is a kind of a struggle because a lot of sacrifices that you need to make to go in this journey. It's worth the pain because If you don't do it now, it's going to get difficult as you age, right? Already you know that as you keep aging, learning something new becomes difficult. Changing the domain gets difficult. I'm not saying it is not possible. It is not impossible, but the question is the probability. Self-discipline is not living limited life, restrictive life. Many people who we see getting up at 6 o'clock, doing that regular activity, going to bed at let's say at 10, having 3 meals a day, it's not a restrictive lifestyle. They enjoy it. They're neither a narrow mindset. They are doing what it is, and they have gone through this cycle of pain. They don't look it as a pain. They look it like an enjoy. People who don't follow that, they see that as a pain or a restrictive mindset or a narrow mindset. So the 5 pillars of self-discipline: accepting that it is important and it will help me, willpower to do those actions. It is a hard work, persistence in spite of various difficulties, and you get an ability to bounce back is nothing but resilience. Okay, so this is a simple exercise. Let's all do it. Can you please use your chat box and please type the question that I'm going to ask? Tell me, friends, for a better planning, in order to ensure that the activities listed are carried out and implemented during your course at Masai School, tell me which is required: self discipline, energy, talent, or time. 4 factors. Better planning of your work. What is it required, friends? Is it discipline, energy, time, or talent? Can you use your chat box? Discipline. Okay. Making cheat sheets. I don't know how many of you know what is a cheat sheet. At the end of every session, you can write down few summary. Absolutely. Discipline. It is, somebody says time. Prince, you will see that it is largely a discipline. Taking down notes during a code talker or a soft skill session, again a discipline. Putting more efforts in coding session, again a discipline. Clearing up of the backlog, coding assignments, project, Khan Academy, if you're doing math and logic. Giving praise to your teammate who have done well. Some of them could require some time, maybe clearing up the backlog, but giving a praise is just a discipline. Keeping workstation neat and tidy, again a discipline. Grooming, personal health and hygiene, again it's a personal self-discipline. Coming to time on Masai School is discipline. Absolutely. Abhishek says energy, time, talent is a function of self discipline. So it is largely self discipline, life is all about. And people who do this, we look at them as a restrictive lifestyle or a narrow mindset. Now, again, I take a lot of example from Japan. It's my favorite country. God willing, I will visit that country and I want to stay there for some time to understand the culture and the value system. At least a month, only then it makes justice going there. Now, this is a very famous walk called Shibuya Walk, Shibuya Crossing. Okay, and it is an intersection, I think 5 or 6 roads. It's the hub. It is the epicenter of Tokyo, and the lights turned red, and 3,000 people crisscross in 90 seconds. And just watch this, an amazing feat. Right? So that was Shibuya Crossing. Obviously, without that discipline, unless nothing can happen. So, some final thoughts on this entire self discipline, friends, and achievement orientation on work, hard work, and very hard work. There are three types of people: those who wonder what happened, those who watch things happen, and those who makes things happen. I want all the students at Masai School to make things happen, not just in Masai School, but at work and in your career. Because once you get into this achievement orientation drive, you can never stop that person. Start setting goals, work hard to achieve them. At times, you need to take a risk, build that courage and confidence into them. I'm going to give you 10 statements. There's a self assessment exercise. For each of these statements, I want you to take a pen and a paper. On a score of 1 to 9, rate yourself. For every statement, you have to rate yourself on 1 to 9. 1 is the least and 9 is the highest. I use a scale 1 to 9 because there is, many people use 0 to 10. I learned it from this one Swedish company. There is nobody is so bad you give him 0, and nobody is perfect to give 10. They use a scale 1 to 9. 1 is the least and 9 is the highest. For example, let's say I plan meticulously. And if I say I give a score of 9, that means my planning is outstanding. If I give a score of 5, it is an average. I give a score of 1 or 2, it's very poor. Okay, so can you give me a quick confirmation on the chat box you have understood this exercise? Have you all have a pen and a paper? I'm going to give you a ten statement, and be honest, touch your hearts, and do this exercise. The score is only for you, not to be shared with me. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first one is, do you have a deep desire to succeed? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 9. Deep desire, not just a desire, a deep desire. You think day in and day out, how do I become successful in this domain, in this career, or in this work? Put question number 1 against it on a scale of 1 to 9. Can we move to the next one? Can you just give me a confirmation? Yes. Okay. Question number 2, self-assessment exercise number 2. I always remain enthusiastic. This is a very important for achievement orientation. You're enthusiastic about goals. You're enthusiastic about opportunities. You're enthusiastic about ups and downs. Enthusiastic about new products, new launches, new customer acquisition. That's the assessment exercise number 2. The third one is you love your work, progress, ambition. What you're doing, you like it. You like your progress and the ambition that you're setting for. Assessment number 4 is on you keep your goal in the subconscious mind. Always I think of in the next 3 years, I should move to SD2 level. I keep a goal saying that in the next 30 weeks, I clear this course, I get the dream job. I keep my goal in the subconscious level. Number 5 is you keep your self-esteem high. What do you mean by self-esteem? Self-esteem comes from knowing oneself, right? Doesn't matter what background you come from, doesn't matter where your skill sets are, but self-esteem is self, right? You don't depend on others to give you the self-esteem. It doesn't matter what society you come from, what is your financial background, or what is your, whether your vernacular background, doesn't matter. Self-esteem is personal. It comes within you, right? You consciously develop skills. That means, hey, I don't know how to use Google Sheets. Can I make it better? I don't know how to use pivot table. Can I do it better? I don't know how to use Canva. Can I learn this quickly? I don't know how to make virtual presentation. Can I make it better? How do I use PowerPoint to make even better slides? You don't fear failure. Many of us are bogged down by watching failure, but I don't fear failure. You drive away inferiority complex. Now, these two are very closely linked. When you have low esteem, you also have an inferiority complex. So what happens? You don't open up. You don't participate in the meetings. You don't share your thoughts, views, and opinion. Does that happen to you? You believe that you can do it. Now, this belief is fundamental in life, friends. If you believe that you can be an outstanding developer in 30 weeks, you are true. And if you believe that you cannot make it, you're also true. It depends what is it that you believe in. You understand yourself fully. That what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your pluses? What are your what makes you happy? What makes you sad? you understand yourself fully. Now, these are the 10 self assessment I've given you. Maximum you can score is 90, lowest you can score is 10. Okay, do you have a score now? Can you please tally it up? Don't share the score with me. Just keep the score with you. I just need to do one small work to know where you are exactly. Okay, you have got the total. People who have scored above, people who have scored above 60, people who have scored above 60, from the total, you minus 5. I'm going to give you a correction factor because normally in self assessment, we overvalue ourselves or undervalue ourselves. People who have scored below 50, add 5 to it. Now, this is your corrected score. Okay. Now, this is based on some study being done by behavioral scientists. So you have the total. If you have got a score above 60, minus 5, and that is your corrected score. If you have got below 50, add 5, that is your corrected score. Now, people who have below 30, your achievement drive is very low. You need to realize and make sure that you move and at the earliest cross the 50 score. People who have a score above 50, you are at threshold level, but given the context today, the changes that are happening, you need to work towards in improving that. People who are above 70, your achievement drive is very high. Make sure you don't give up because it's very easy to go down the hill. Okay, so quick reaction on the chat box. Did you like this exercise? Did you like this exercise? Do you find it useful? Yes? Okay. Now let's move forward. Just concluding side. Most of the people readily accept principle but resist the practice. So today I have made an effort to put together a module around this fuzzy topic called achievement orientation. Now, this is one of the key ingredients that you will see students in Masai School. Why is it some people come with a non-coding background? I'm talking about more about our regular R program, non-BTech, non-CS. Many a time the toppers in the batch are from non-BTech, non-CS background. In the recent batch, Apache, Ayushi is from BCom background. She went on to bag one of the top jobs in ShareChat, right? Now, they accept the principle, they also apply it in practice. But most people accept the principle, but they resist the practice. We don't want that to happen with our Masai School students. We want you to go out and make sure that you apply whatever you learned. Thank you so much for this Saturday morning session with all of you. I hope it has been useful and the time is well spent. When we connect next Saturday, I'm going to build upon it and then I'm going to lead to you. One of the important achievement orientation trait is adaptability and flexibility. So next week, I'm going to talk about adaptability and flexibility, how we can become adaptable because the world is changing continuously. Thank you so much. Have a great day. It's a day where
Yogesh,
you do a lot of activity. Thank you.
Yogesh, I have a question.
Yes, please. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
in one of the slides you had mentioned